Just in case.
You need to ping on this before start questioning your appointment on the board.
I think at any point, city council, when there's, at any point when the city council is doing appointments for boards and commissions, they can reevaluate. I know there's a specific instruction for appointments of them, but I don't think it's like a
Further away
time.
That was a percentage from when I was in Parks and Rec because we had somebody there.
So we'll have to go hide in the back room.
Just curious.
Board
So
and
it's
advisory
Yeah.
boards have their own
You have to do
guidelines,
this.
and so I know planning commission has what exactly it is.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes. Good to be bilingual.
That's the new AI.
We'll move it over a little, but every time I move it over, then they move it back, so I don't know if it's important, but I don't think it's plugged in or anything.
Somebody just lit like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it.
No, it's okay, because it really does kind of crowd things around here.
You have to be careful possibly making requests of staff.
Yeah.
They interpret it as direct instruction. I'm gonna report you next.
No, like, I just do the building, but not in here.
Tell the story of this.
It's what?
You ought to see it. I mean, like, you really said that to a judge. Like, what? Or the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, the other day, I'd never done this.
Well, we're live now, so now everybody knows that you're hanging out in traffic court.
Well, we're not crowd
Bring it Sit back there. Slow day, it's not bad.
Makes the day go by faster.
Does municipal court have slow days anymore?
No, they're lined up around the corner.
Yeah.
Out the middle?
It's not a 2-day affair, ain't it?
All that revenue.
Yeah.
I don't drive here and back. You can't have me.
You can.
I tried to change that rule for you used
What rule? I forgot. You did.
I did. You did not wait
But Bob Lee was not happy.
Why is Marijuana down there as opposed to on the seat? Computer.
True.
That's why I would.
Brianna, why are you sitting in a different seat?
Do I not always say that?
Usually you're in the driver's seat up there.
So maybe just last time because of the workshop, right?
Oh, maybe so.
Is this weird? Should I go over
Yeah,
there?
it's kind of weird.
Wherever you're comfortable with. Yeah.
It's different.
Okay, I'll go back up there. And
No, don't.
No, you're fine. That way you can see the monitor too.
It's not.
Did I steal your back?
Yes.
I sure did.
Okay, Brian, you got 2 minutes. Not yet, 2 minutes.
I'll go out and run around the building, do some counseling.
There you go.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes.
So the stream is still.
that Bob
Oh, Bob
recently, yeah.
Did you clean it?
No.
He gets too close to the mic. Oh, yeah, because you got that from me, because I gotta read.
No, just in case, I typically talk loud enough for the camera, but just in case it's not picking up or I'm nervous or something.
What?
Jack is
All right.
here.
Brian, go ahead and come up. We're there. We'll get started.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Start with roll call.
Marcus Fuentes.
Valerie Solis.
Jim Welch.
Priscilla Garrett.
Brian Griffin.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll move into citizens' comments. We'll open those up at 6:30 and a half. Do you have any public members that'd like to get up and speak? No? No?
Jim, do you want me to read Bruce's notes here or at the agenda?
However you'd like. Either place is appropriate.
I'll do that.
Okay.
So this one,
We have Mr. Houston Marchman.
right, Houston Marchman, I guess I need to say 1616 San Jacinto. Reading Mayor Alexander's notes for 2 agenda items. The first one being item 5, public hearing zoning change for 702 Paris Street, the Moy Center. And Bruce comments, while I support the development of a private school that will be designed to support grades 6 through 12 at the location selected, I disagree with the need to rezone the property to accomplish this task. Goes on to say, although the current zoning of HE Historic District Residential does not permit a private school, I believe that a private school may be allowed without a change in zoning by obtaining a variance to the CZO from Zoning Board of Adjustments. A variance is specific to the use of the property and protects the current zoning in the future, and proposed school does not continue to operate as a school. So in other words, if it is a school and it's not, you can revert to the original zoning and you don't risk just a commercial zoning attachment, which allows for a lot more than what we probably want. This way it's reasonable. I guess I shouldn't embellish that, sure. A change in zoning permits a large variety of commercial activities to be determined by the landowner in the future if the proposed school does not continue to operate as a school. A change in zoning reduces the ability for the city to manage future development in the heart of the city adjacent to Highway 90. I request that the P&Z Commission deny the request to rezone property and provide a recommendation to the Zoning Board of Adjustments to grant a variance to the CZO to allow the development of a private school on the property located at 702 Paris Street, currently zoned as HE Historic District Residential. Okay, that's right. And then the second one is on Country Village Phase 2, final plat. Comments, the letter from IBC Bank does not include funding for all of the improvements included in the engineer's estimate of cost. I propose that the letter of credit include sufficient funds to complete all of the improvements that have been identified in the engineer's cost estimate by including a 15% contingency as noted on the engineer estimate form. Number 2, I propose the addition of a signed agreement as to the time frame that all of the identified improvements will be done by the developer. The city has the right to use the letter of credit to complete any unfinished improvements after the agreed time for the improvements to be completed has expired. The transfer of water rights agreed to must be completed prior to signing and recording the final plat. Lastly, approval of the final plat requires city council action. I recommend P and Z approval with the conditions as noted.
Thanks, sir. Are there any other public members, citizens that would like to comment this time? There being none, we'll close citizens' comments at 6:34. Next, we'll move on to agenda item 4, approval of minutes. A is the minutes for September 10th, 2025. And B is the minutes for September 25th, 2025, special call development agreement policy workshop. Those are included in the packet. So I do see one conflict with the minutes versus our agenda. Item B says September 25th. The minutes have September 24th. Which was that? 25th or 24th? Wednesday, September 24th?
I think that's right.
Yeah, 24th was Wednesday. So the minutes are correct, the agenda is incorrect. So, no problem.
I don't even want that.
Sorry. There any comments on the meeting minutes? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve minutes as presented.
I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
A second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Not. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to item number 5, public hearings. We have a public hearing on a zoning change request for approximately 2.318 acres located north of Highway 90, east of Naples, and south of Paris Street at 702 Paris Street, Castroville, Texas, 78009. The current zoning of the property is HE, Historic District Residential. The proposed zoning for the property is C-G, Historic Central Business District, or CHC, Central Commercial District.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open up.
We'll start with the staff presentation, go into the public comments, and then we'll go into discussion.
And as Jim just read, what the request is for, the applicant is Lance Rohde. The property owner is Castroville Catholic Middle and High School. As he just stated, the current zoning is HE Historic District Residential. And the proposed zoning, and he stated it correct, is either CG or CHC, and that's because they wanted to be flexible and allow the commission to have some input if necessary. So, this is where the property is located. As most of you know, it's the Moist Center property, and so it's located right in front of the public works location along Highway 90, and sandwiched in between Naples and London Street and Paris Street. This is just an aerial view of that same property. As you can see, it's not the property that contains the actual Moist Center, but the one that is located directly next to it. That's the more vacant property, the one that has the more landscaping, just that one small building on it. And this just shows where the current zoning's at. So it's HE Historic District as of right now. As you can see, everything around that is HE, but really, and this is what the UDO was kind of also trying to address a little bit, was that all of these are institutional. So typically in a zoning ordinance, for some reason Castroville decided not to go that route, but typically instead of having everything either commercial or residential, they'll have an institutional that is the schools, the churches, any civic buildings, things like that. But they sandwich those all within some other district in the current zoning. So I just want to point that out because typically most zonings in most cities have an institutional element. So something like this would fall under that. Okay. And then this right here is just the future land use map. And as you can see, just as I was saying, is our future land use has this dedicated as institutional. So the people who created this future land use map knew in the future that we did need to try and bring those out. And so that's what they've done in the future land use. Okay, so the proposed zoning, I'm gonna stick more to the CG because I think that's more, the better zoning out of the two for this area. Already because it is a historic site, and so the CEG, Historic Central Business District, still gives the Historic Landmark Commission purview over that property. So anything built or reconstructed would have to go to them for approval first. And so right now I have it listed as CG, but like I said, there's also that CHCL element if you thought that was more suitable for this area. This just to show that right now it's wants to be used as a private school, and it just shows that in HD that is not allowed as of right now. So that's why they are requesting the zone change to either CHC or CG. And like I said, the main key difference between those two zoning classifications is that the historic commercial really limits what they can do on that property. And it also has to go through Historic Landmark Commission if they make any changes to that property. But it also brings in the uses that can go there. It can't be high intensity like CHC allows. It has to be usually something that has more of a historic element to it or community focused. And that's all I have for my presentation. We do have Mr. Rody here to answer any additional questions that you have. But that closes the public hearing part. Right?
From staff.
Yeah, from staff.
Staff.
Now we'll go into the
Yeah.
So what time did you open that?
6:39 ish. All right. So now we'll open up for public comments at 6:41. Councilman Mers? Yes, sir.
David Mers Jr., 148 Village Path. I want to make clear that while I am a member of City Council, I am not here in that capacity tonight. I am here speaking as a member of the steering committee for the proposed school. And I would just like to emphasize, sort of in response to the mayor's comments that were read earlier, we applied for a zoning change because the current zoning does not allow a private school. And we considered applying for a variance, but after carefully reading the CZO, we concluded that that was not really allowed by a plain reading of the CZO. On page 92, it says that a variance is a means of relief which is available only when some peculiar circumstance as to the size or shape of the parcel of land is such that the literal application of the provisions of the ordinance would impair the owner's rights to some reasonable use of the property. A variance shall not be granted unless, in the first place, there are such peculiar circumstances. The size and shape of this property have nothing to do with our inability to make a school. Furthermore, the seventh fact of findings specifically says, the board, meaning the Zoning Board of Adjustments, shall carefully distinguish between a use change and a variance. A use change shall be a use change shall be subject to the provisions of the ordinance applicable to a change in zoning district classification. So rather plainly in the text of the ordinance, it says that a variance is not an acceptable way to handle a use that contradicts the zoning table. That is why we have come here and asked for a zoning change. We are asking for either of the two zones that are present in the general vicinity that would permit us to open a school. And we are, I don't know about Mr. Rody, but I know how much time and money my family has invested in working towards a school. And while it is certainly possible that at some point in the future that school could fail and the land could be sold, we're going to do our darndest to make sure that doesn't happen. You can look at the organization name that is requesting this zoning change. It is Castroville Catholic Middle and High School. We are dedicated to making this a school and to keeping it a school for as long as we can. And so we ask you to please give us the chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to comment? If not, we'll close the public comments at 6:44. Move into discussion.
I'll just open it up by saying thank you for that explanation, because that was going to be the exact question as to whether or not y'all had explored the idea of a variance. You did a good job of explaining why you looked at it and didn't go with it. So I'm probably leaning more towards the recommendation from staff, which would be CZ. Yeah. But thank you for that explanation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I when you compare the two, whatever y'all build, if it does fail, I would not like to see something like an auto sales or body shop moving to that area in his work district. And that's what you're opening it up for. And I don't see any reason to request a variance either. I don't think that's the right way to go at all either. So I would be for the CG.
Okay.
So I don't know how to phrase this question, so just go along with me here. So I know months now y'all have been raising millions of dollars for the school. I've seen the website and everything. So when the decision was made to go ahead and raise money for the Castroville Catholic High School, what was the train of thought at that point 6 months to a year ago about the zoning request? Like, why now, since y'all been raising money for the past 9 months? Like, why now?
We only closed on the property.
Okay. Okay.
It was not our request. We didn't want
Okay.
there was no way
Yeah.
for us to make that request.
Okay. And then as far as reading the CZO, was it not just worth even just going before the zoning board of adjustments just to see what they had to say, or is it you just kind of took what the CZO said and was like, that's not for us? So
Well, the CZO specifically says that the zoning board of adjustments cannot grant a variance for a use change, and it costs money to apply for a variance. It costs money to apply for a zoning change, and so we were trying to be good stewards of the money that has been donated to us by not applying for hearings that the plain reading of the ordinance says cannot get us the outcome we need, which is permission to build a school.
I don't know, can you apply to the variance board even before you would come through like us? I don't know if can you go directly to
Yes, you can,
the
anybody can
variance?
request
Can
that.
you go
Yes.
directly?
You can make that request.
Yeah.
But and another aspect that he hasn't touched on, or he kind of did a little bit, but in order, Mr. Fuentes can speak to this, is that in order for the zoning board of adjustments to approve a variance, there's 7 facts of findings, and you have to meet every single one of those facts. And in this case, it would not have met not even one of those. And so to go through that process, to know that you're not going to meet that because they're not supposed to approve it unless they do, would be a good process.
My question would be the next option, which I haven't heard anybody mention, special use permits.
In order for a special use permit to be applied for, it has to have this S next to it, and it doesn't. So that's why that's not an avenue.
Not an option.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it is going CG, this is one thing that I've always been wary of, not conflicted of, but I know of it, is whatever design they come up with. I understand that now it's supposed to be going in front of the HLC. Does it have to get approved by them, whatever design they come up with? Or is it just presented to them?
It has to be approved through HLC. A certificate of appropriateness would have to be approved through them.
Because that's the part that I always wondered, because if a new business comes in, why does an historic place have to, in my opinion, agree to the design of it if it's not even on the original reasoning for HOC, which is the historic properties.
Yeah, the way the ordinance is stated
I
is,
know.
is that it's not just the buildings, it's the infill also.
Right.
When this would be considered infill.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's in the district.
Cause yeah, right, because it's in the historic district. And then if they go the other route, which was CH,
CHC,
CHC.
they don't have to go in front of.
that's
Correct.
correct.
Gotcha.
And that changes the whole.
Right, what, like Priscilla said, what could come in afterwards could be just anything. No, I get
It's a
that.
scary one, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that wholly, but I was just curious about that. Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate the applicant being flexible with the proposed rezoning. I think it shows their commitment to being open to, subject to the historic commission as well as what they do. And so I think in the spirit of that and knowing the dedication, it will protect the area and the feel of it. So I don't have any issues with what's been presented and appreciate staff providing a recommendation coming into it. Any further? Yeah, no further discussion. I entertain a motion.
Also move to recommend the approval of the zoning change request for 702 Paris Street from HE Historic Residential District to CG Historical Commercial District.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to agenda item 6, discussion and possible action on a, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thanks, sir. We were on 6A. We were in the discussion of it. I messed that up.
Oh, 6,
So we'll move on to 6B.
6B.
Yeah. So now we move into 6B, which is discussion and possible action on the Country Village Phase 2 final plat.
And that's for me. Okay, so the engineer surveyor on this is EGE, and Omar Rodriguez is here to help answer any questions that y'all can ask them. The property owner is CB Country Lane, and that's Mr. Jack Upmore. Most of y'all know him. He did the first Country Village estate. This is approximately 11.978 acres, and it's part of the Magnolia subdivision, and it's immediately north and east of the existing Cashville Country Village subdivision. The current zoning is RA, single family dwelling district, and the future land use plan on this is also a single family. This is just where it's located. As you can see, it's at the end of that country lane, right next to the Groff property. And directly to the east of that new subdivision that just went in, extending the Country Village estates. This just shows that the zoning is a single-family dwelling district, and that's what it's intended as this plat. Y'all already seen this. The preliminary plat came through here about a month ago. Nothing's changed from that plat since y'all went ahead and approved that, and City Council approved that preliminary plat also. So just to let y'all know that this is all the same. This is nothing different. So this is just a plat. Y'all have a full scale just in case you wanted to look at it in more detail because it is the final plat. But as I just stated, nothing has changed. It's still, I believe, 32 lots. They have all the entrance and exit points that they need for this subdivision, and they're asking for no variances from our subdivision ordinance or our zoning ordinance. And this is just a little close-up. So we're gonna go through some things that are required at final plat dedication or final plat review. And the first thing is the parkland dedication. We talked about this a little bit before during the preliminary plat. In the ordinance it states we do not allow them to dedicate land if it's under 5 acres. They have to just pay the fee in lieu of, and it's through the appraisal district, the appraised value, and just to show that that's what it was, and that they already paid that. In your packet is the receipt, just so you know that that has been paid. It was on paid on September 24th. Water rights, here's just a letter stating that will be transferred to the city prior to the final plat being recorded, which is as the ordinance states, so that's not abnormal. And so before the final plat will be recorded, they will be required to have that paperwork in our hands for the 19.584 acre feet of water rights dedicated to the city. Financial statement, so here's just a financial guarantee from the bank, and here shows the first page. I know Mr. Alexander stated that he felt like it wasn't, if you look in your packet, there's 2 pages, the amount's different, but per the ordinance, it's just supposed to be the infrastructure cost plus the erosion control. That's how it's stated in our ordinance. So they did just go by the ordinance, so what he is asking is for above and beyond what's required, so they don't have to do that. And really, per state law, if they're doing everything that's in your code, then you can't deny it. That opens you up to legal stuff. So
Right, you just have to.
yeah, and so just to let y'all know that, and then
So they're illegal under, what they've come in is legal under code,
yes.
what they have now.
Yeah, they answered it.
They're meeting requirements.
And I know he sent a letter with timeframes. We just got this today, so I haven't been able to pass these requests on. So Mr. Upmore, I would say that it's just so there's maybe no hassle as that city council, I could talk to him to see if maybe he wants to provide that letter just stating that. He's provided everything else, and he's always been a good person to work with. So he may do that just for city council if he knows that Bruce is or Mayor has already commented on it. So just but it's not required. So yeah. And then so just the general information, like I said, it's single family dwelling district, 11.978 acres, 32 lots. It has all the setback requirements as per our ordinance. There was no variances requested, and the city engineer has reviewed both the preliminary and final plat plans, and everything has been approved. And so that's all I have for this one.
I've got a question for you on the letter of credit. Does that go through a legal review, or is that pretty standard? It's just if they posted like a performance bond.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. We don't send it to legal review. I know it happened in the past. So it's just a pretty standard letter that the bank supplies typically.
And the comment on the timeline agreeing to when something would be constructed, that's not a current requirement of code. That's just a request that was floated out there.
That was from the mayor.
Gotcha. Okay. Any questions, comments?
Brian?
None from me. Looks like it's covered pretty well.
And then for me, as long as they're meeting all the requirements by code. So
Looks good to me.
Okay. Well, if there's no questions, comments, I guess I would add in the spirit of the request to ask them to commit to a certain time period. That does add risk to the developer because weather, things you can't control. So I don't know that I would see a necessity for it if we don't have it in current code. But if it is important for how the city operates, we should look at maybe a code modification in the future or something.
has it ever been a problem in the past? I mean,
No, the last time he built the first phase, they did it so quickly and within, but there was not a time constraint on that one either. So we haven't had an issue with that. As you see, some of these subdivisions, they do take a longer time to build out, but they kind of build that into their schedule. Yeah.
Oh, I do have one, just so there's no confusion on your paperwork.
Mhm.
On, it's 1 of 1, which I guess was the Planning and Zoning Commission agenda report. In the recommendation, you have phase 1 listed there instead of phase 2. So you might want to,
I will.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Right. My apologies.
no problem.
Any other questions, comments? Entertain motion.
I make a motion to approve the final plat.
Motion to have second.
So second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Not. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Right. Now we're on to item C. Discussion and possible action on the economic development agreement which this item has been pulled. That's correct?
That's correct.
Now that I start reading it.
Yeah, so this one has been pulled, yes, yeah, so, there's no discussion, the only thing that they did ask is if we could maybe hold a special club meeting. If I'm being honest, I'm not really open to that unless y'all want me to do so. We have another meeting coming up the second week in November. I already have a pretty, jam-packed rest of the month, so unless, y'all want that to be done, I can try and make it happen, but that's just at the request of the developer.
Are they pushing real hard?
No, they just asked in that one email that I sent to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they haven't made any additional requests besides that email.
Just for clarity, what was the 8.5%?
It was like a financing cost, so that was probably one of the big reasons why they pulled back, because as you saw, there was a lot of, things that I thought could make that development agreement better. And so I think they're gonna go reevaluate a little bit,
Okay.
so.
Same question, Houston.
Yeah.
The 6 million.
8.5%.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no action on that tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Item D, discussion and possible action on the development agreement policy.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I didn't actually prepare a slide for this, so.
It's a that. That's the act.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have agreements for everything.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, so as, I hope y'all had a chance to read through the updated development agreement policy. Really, this is just to get the first reflection back to see what y'all initial thoughts are. If y'all had any questions about it, comments, I'm open to anything. Really, this is just to open that discussion up and see what y'all thought about the initial draft, because I know there's probably 2 versions we need to go through to make sure it's written.
This is kind of the same thing we went over in our special calls.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's everything that we went
Oh,
over,
sure.
but I condensed it down into the 2 pages. It's value statements, and it just includes all the topics that we discussed in value statement format. I included the process at the end and just like wording about incentives, but like I said, it's really, I would say bare bones, where it just shows what we're looking for and what our process is, and then our incentives, and that's it. So.
Any questions or comments on the
What pages?
draft?
That's gonna be the last 2 slides.
No,
Nope.
I'm tired of writing the minutes. So I'm not gonna bring anything else up.
Valerie?
No.
I think it covered it. I think it covered what we talked about. Pretty good.
Mr. Fuentes?
Just, I know we can't tell people what to do, but is there any way, or is there anything that anybody does as far as like put examples of style facades, brick, like as a hyperlink or as like an appendix in the rear of it, examples of what we like to see? Would that be something that would be feasible or recommended, or anybody think of?
It's pretty subjective,
Right.
because you can't, of course, we don't wanna dictate the, well, first of all, you put only 4, let's just say there's only 4 housing types on there, there's board and bat and brick, and it feels limiting almost.
Gotcha.
And so you may not get like those good ideas where maybe there's a mixture of both, or they feel like if it falls outside of that, and you don't get those ideas. When you're in that development agreement negotiations, that's when they should bring those facades to you, if that's
To us,
important.
the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And say, hey, yeah, we like this, or no, we don't. But that should really be done within that process, and maybe not stated within the agreement.
Just thought I'd ask.
Good question.
But other than that,
It's hard enough to deal under HLC where we've got very, very, very hard stuff to go by.
that's 85.
This would really be, I think that would really be hard
Yeah, I
for
get that.
development to come
Because
out.
I looked over y'all's the other day and how many things, like
Well,
180
you
pages
can
or whatever.
and
I'm like,
do.
God.
Good stuff, go.
Oh, we want rock?
Yeah.
That's it. Don't even go up.
It looks
No,
like
that was,
stone.
that was Carol Romano, so we,
Yes, it was.
we got past that. Yeah.
Mr. Griffin?
I think that it condensed what we had in our workshop quite well.
Yes.
If there's no no comments, and I'm not trying to rush or anything, but there's always an action item, so if y'all wanna go ahead and recommend this to city council for approval, y'all are more than welcome to. If y'all wanna mull it over for a little bit, y'all are more than welcome to. It's completely up to y'all. But I did put it on there for action in case y'all decided y'all wanted to move it forward to city council.
I'll say, in our workshop as we closed out, there were a lot of good guidance, but it was very kind of open-ended. And I think you did a great job of putting it into one document that describes what we talked about, lays out the process, and sets guidelines. Initially thinking that we may need to go kind of back and forth, I like it as it's written this evening myself. Any further questions, comments? Entertain a motion if we so choose.
I'll go ahead and move that we send this to council for approval. I guess that's what we're looking for.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Not those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're on to item 7, discussion on future agenda items.
So I do have, and I forgot, I know we keep talking about the code updates, and I still know about your temporary storage things, I still have that on there to sign. I've just been kind of bogged down with all these development things, but I'm hoping that by our next planning and zoning meeting, I will be able to bring at least one or both of those back so y'all can start looking into some of these revisions that y'all passed here.
So what were the two, just shorten, so.
The temporary storage, like the connexes,
Uh-huh.
language in our ordinance about that, and the sign ordinance.
Okay.
And I guess just for the sake of transparency, it didn't come up tonight, but I do want everybody to be aware that as a civil engineer, there's going to be items that come up from time to time that my company or myself are involved in. So that's when it's appropriate for me to recuse myself and leave the room. We've had it happen just one time in the 8 years that I've been on P&Z. But when it does occur, like it was set up 2 to 9, Priscilla would run the meeting. I would go in the back and then coming back in after the agenda item is done with. So, just so it doesn't catch anybody by surprise.
Four people. Yeah, actually 3 people.
Next
more.
meeting, right?
No, we was probably trying to keep the discussion open, so maybe we got somewhere with it. If we just couldn't, then we would have to maybe go to the next meeting or table it and try and come up with a better solution.
Or tell those backups, that, hey, the other one, hey, you need to show up.
Yeah, the other alternate.
I don't know if the alternate can step in the middle of the meeting, because when you do roll call, you're stating those
Right,
people
yeah,
are
that's true.
in there. I don't know if an alternate can do that, but I will double check just in case. So,
So just be here for the whole meeting.
I mean, Jim's all over. Just kidding. Just kidding.
She's a good one.
Any other discussion on future agenda items or anything you want to talk about?
Maybe so. We have one alternate that has never been to a meeting. Is there, he's never been here. I wouldn't know him if I saw him. Is there, at some point in time where we maybe, I don't know how you do that, take him off and see if we can
Do you mind
find
if
him?
I look that up while we're sitting there, so we can just see it together on how that process works? It takes just a second.
Yeah, because I don't know if we'd be
I
able.
think all too often it's like 2 meetings missed and you start
Well,
to
it's
get
3 meetings,
tagged.
it's 3 meetings, but yeah, so, but he's never, and he's been an alternate for 2 years or so. Not that we'd be able to replace him, we can't ever find anybody then.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's been an alternate for 2 years, his term should be up any day.
It wasn't, I think, at this past July for some reason, I think that maybe someone didn't realize that he hadn't been to any meetings because he reinstated.
maybe we check with Deborah and see if we just take him off and quit listing him.
It's not letting me Yeah, Yeah, because actually I had a question about that earlier, just so we can see, because actually planning and zoning, y'all have y'all's own rules on how. Okay, so I'll look into it and maybe I'll send out a clarifying email because it keeps like jumping back and
Sure.
forth. It's not letting me do it. But yeah, there's a way that they have to remove somebody. If removal, the city council shall have the authority to remove any alternate board commissioner, committee member who fails to attend with unexcused absence 3 consecutive meetings.
Alternate members may be removed from office prior to the expiration of the term by a majority decision of the city council. So 3 consecutive meetings.
Yeah, he's definitely missed more than that. He's missed about 2 years worth of meetings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we could maybe bring it to the attention of Deborah to put it on a city council when they do their boards and commissions I just don't even know if we have another applicant at the moment, so if we don't have another applicant, they probably won't talk about it until we get somebody else to be able to reappoint to that position, so.
Okay.
So I don't know, anybody,
I guess just one other comment that I had on the development agreement policy now that we've acted on that, and that's going for to council. The process of bringing development agreements to P&Z, we've kind of hit on that before. Just wanted to reiterate personal opinion here is that I think there's other ways to do it aside from bringing it straight in front of P&Z. I think the concept is strong, but procedurally it's very challenging due to all the details that are involved with that. So I just wanted to, just voice that, and then also if there are items that we need to talk about, if they continue to come to P&Z, have some clear direction for staff on how to present and handle those development agreements, because it's awkward.
it is awkward.
And we're just kind of creating it as we go, I feel like, and which is necessary given the direction we have. Just wanted to voice that.
Yeah, no, that's great, because it was really hard coming up, since y'all are gonna see this and we don't have the development agreement policy actually like on, we have one, but we're not really using that one. So not having something guide me to what y'all are looking for, that's in itself is challenging. But to put it together in a presentation, it was hard because I'm like, well, what do they really wanna see? What do they not wanna see? And it's gonna definitely be a learning curve going forward, but if y'all have any input on what y'all wanna see and at what point, that would be great to let me know, so.
Definitely staff recommendation for approval if it comes. That way you iron out all the details. All right, I'll stop lengthening and drawing this meeting out. Anything else that you guys want to discuss? If not, we'll adjourn at 7:11.
7-11.
At 7:11.
Please recycle your packets if you can.
Yeah.
Be good to the environment.
I was going to say, I don't need
Since
to
you
flag.
said we need to change this, like, give me your first
I
page.
didn't say to change
You
that
did-
particular. I said there's a conflict between the two.
Give me that front page.
It's circled.
You circled it.
I
Well,
circled it.
that's better than me marking it out.
Okay. Not too late tonight.
No.
And Brian didn't put a signature thing on here.
Huh? Oh, man. You know why it didn't get on there? Because that was AI generated.
Okay.
Yes,
Can I give that to you?
It said, do you want to use AI Copilot? I said, let's do it. I'll have to remind the Copilot to put a signature line on the minutes.
Wait, we've got your minutes here. Oh, you're gonna give us the recommendations? This is, there's no staple here. Is there a staple?
So usually the chairperson.
Yeah.
So it's
Chairperson, no, whatever.
So they sold. You mean?
Policy.
I've been pretty busy with that, but
I think so.
I'll
Yes.
do that.
We were all in good
Are
hands.
you writing all of this?
In January.
All right, here's minutes.
Do you want to bind it? You have this one?
No, if it would be too fast. I can't believe there's no paper.
Which you need, Priscilla?
I was looking for a paper.
Oh, just a regular one? Here's one, the big one.
That's too big for this. You got it? All right, there's some.
Thank you.
Oh, here's one.
A little?
Yeah.
Here.
Somewhere in January.
Thank you for copying that packet.
Yes, of course. And then I'll make sure to always have a print when they're done, have one ready for you guys. At Public Works.
Maybe there's an extra one.
Reference.
So are we done?
All right. Thank you, Brianna.
Have you heard about that?
The original church.
The park last Friday. She broke 4 rules. She broke 8 She's in the house. It was like, oh, I was at the top of the hill, she was at the bottom. She piled at me by the time I got down there. She also hit her face on a rock. She cut her eye open. We put her in my truck and got her to the doctor. They sent her for x-rays.
So we bought.
They didn't put her in the hospital. She was in the hospital yesterday. But that's the thing, she breathe. And now she's got a tube. It's draining the blood and the air out of the lung. I know. They have been fussing at us.